There he is.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Thieves Theater. I'm CJ Thie, and boy, do we have a great, fantastic video for you this afternoon. We're going to be looking at my toy room, DJ room, and other half of Thieves Theater. Now we're at the far end of the toy room, and check it out. This is where I have my movie posters categorized by date and some of the toys by category. If you just check out this wall, you've got all the Planet of the Apes toys that I have and the Universal horror movie characters, and just check them all out, Chase. These are all vintage toys by now. They weren't vintage, of course, when I got them, but we've had them for some time. This is the wall of masks. Now the wall of masks not only has posters underneath, but it also has characters from the Hateful Eight. Just pan them out on Chase. And then we have some presidents that are being blocked by my Universal monsters, which broke because they were so heavy. But check out those. That's Mrs. Bush, Tricky Dick. There's I can't even remember his name.
Carter?
Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter. And there's a George Bush, and there's the ghoul from Ghostbusters.
So,
the Slimer.
Why don't you show us how you categorized all these?
Well, this particular aisle, I had them in aisle when we moved them across from the other house, but we have them categorized by director, which is Tarantino. Then we have Star Wars, Star Trek, Sin City, Jaws series, Matrix movie poster. Here we have King Kong, kinky stuff, and we have Jurassic Park and Mad Max. Now that's that whole sleeve. And then over here we have, of course, this is the mask from Chase.
Curse of the Demon. Yes.
Curse of the Demon. What a great science fiction movie poster from the year 1959. That's
yes.
Correct. Wow, that was a great guess. And here now, this particular sleeve, we have Hostel, Gravity, Lord of the Rings, Clint Eastwood, James Bond, Disney, Alien, Ants. We have all 1950s movie poster one sheets. Okay, let's go through some 60s. Well, here we go first with Horror Hotel. This is a great movie if you've never seen it. Great movie poster artwork. It almost looks like it could be too good to be true, but I think it is real. Here's Rock Hudson in Seconds. What a fantastic movie that is. Cal Tiki. And then we have The Creeping Flesh, Blood Beast from Outer Space, which was featured on a prior Thieves Theater video. Here we have Man's Best Friend, which was in 1990s. Ghidra, the three-headed monster. That's an original one sheet. Well, here's Dark Crystal. We have Village of the Giants. Here's Beast of Yellow Night and Creature from the Black Hand. It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World Creep Show. Bluebeard's 10 Honeymoons. That's a great movie poster. And then we have, this I always thought was way underrated, this movie poster. This is The Night the World Exploded. Destroy All Monsters. That was the all-star monster movie back in the 60s. And then this is Unearthly. What spectacular movie poster artwork on this one.
I always loved this one, Night Creatures.
It's beautiful. And then we have Deep Star 6. That was one from the, I believe, the 80s or the 90s.
This one's one of your favorites here.
This is my favorite. She Freak, just so colorful. David Friedel, one of my favorite campy movie directors. You have the Beast of the Cellar, and here's one of your favorites.
Yes.
1 Million Years BC, starring Raquel Welch, front and center. And The Atomic Submarine, another unbelievable movie poster. Very, very underrated. The Ambushers from the Dean Martin Matt Helm series. Then you have The Brothers Grimm. Not such a great movie poster. Death Curse of Tartu. Torture Garden. And Terrified. And Nightmare. Spectacular 1980s artwork. Here's another 60s Tormented.
Nice.
Tormented's a beauty. That was featured on another video. Zombies of Mora 2. And Robinson Crusoe on Mars. And this one, oh, this was so brutal when it first came out. Mark of the Devil. There's a scene in here where Herbert Lum, I believe, rips out this girl's tongue. Very, very good one. The Night Monsters and the Navy.
The Navy and the Night Monsters.
Yes, I did that backwards. Billy the Kid versus Dracula, another campy 60s, and Horror of the Spider Island.
These keep going.
They just keep going. There's about 4 or 5 more. Here's The Evil of Frankenstein. Prime Time. Killer Fish. And Women of the Prehistoric Planet. Another great illustrated movie poster. Here's another one. When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth. And Varan, the Unbelievable. This is a near mint movie poster from the 60s or 70s. No, it's got to be 50s or 60s. Here's Ape. Great. And Door to Door the Maniac. This was also featured in a prior video. The Addams Family Values and Hypnotic Eye. What a gorgeous movie poster that is. It's pulling you in. And Valley of Guangxi and Creature with the Atomic Brain. The Werewolf. And look at this blockbuster, Chase. Night of the Living Dead. That should be front and center. What a beautiful movie poster that is. Frankenstein's Daughter. And what's significant about this one here is that it was starring Nancy Reagan, otherwise Nancy Davis. So there you have some of them, and it goes on and on. This is 1970s, 1980s, 1990s. Here's some odds and ends here, Chase. Blonde Bait. Blonde Bait's from the 50s. Gorgeous. It's a prostitute movie. And then we also have Linda Lovelace for President. Now, these are what you'd call those naughty movie posters, Chase.
What is in all this here? What did you do with all this?
What we did with these is we have some mini movie posters here, and then we have full back page section X. So section X was a part of the Asbury Park Press that came out, and it did some interviews and
for movies and stuff.
Movies and stuff that were coming to different trade shows. This particular one is also in a folder. This is small mini posters, and we have large handout posters. So those are all categorized. We tried to put them all on computer. And medium starts for today. These are the medium-sized ones. And then we have assorted Star Wars stuff when Star Wars came out, and small starts today.
Nice.
So these are just different things that I collected along the way. That wasn't, it was related to the movies. This is movie reviews, page 3. So page
These are all newspapers.
Yes, these are all newspaper items. Jersey Alive covers from the Asbury Park Press. Asbury Park Press, for you, those of you who don't know, because there's very limited circulation of Asbury Park Press now. It's mainly an online newspaper. But Asbury Park Press used to be a print newspaper. Now these are all different size handout movie posters that came if you went to the theater, which are pretty cool. Same thing on this side. This toy right here went up significantly in value. I just want to show it to you. It's one of those talking... Okay, there we go.
Hello there. I'm Lotso Huggin' Bear.
Isn't that great? This is from the movie Toy Story 3.
I'm Lotso Huggin' Bear, and for you I'll always care.
This was a masterpiece of a movie. Yeah.
Won't you give me a hug, please?
Just fantastic stuff right there. Anyways, this is another Toy Story toy that I really love. And this is called the Garbage Can. And this is, of course, Lotso Huggin' Bear in the front.
Oh, no! Now I got flies in my fur.
Flies in my fur.
Psst. Hey, you. How about you untie me and keep me off this thing?
So anyway, this is the Toy Story 3 garbage truck. And isn't this cool, Chase?
It's so
It
cool.
opens up. You can play with it a little bit. Nice little play
And
experience.
is this an original here? This Cyclops?
That's
a Don Post?
It was a Don Post, and for somehow it got melted. And but we kept it. We didn't throw it out. And this was the Cyclops from Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. I'm afraid if you do that, you're going to crack it. So. And then up top here, these are also featured on another episode of Feast Theater, are the 18-inch collection from Spencer Gifts. So you have Michael Myers, you have Freddy Krueger, you have, of course, Jason, you have the Scream. And then you also have Leatherface. So this is the Austin Power corner, what we call it. And over here we have a little bit of Speed Racer on the bottom here to the right. And then we also have Austin Powers, starting with the original Austin Powers, going to Austin Powers Part 2 and then Part 3, which was Gold Member. So these are the cool toys. Some of them are out of the box, and I also have versions of them in the box. But these are what you call pull string toys right here, Chase. You pull it out and you pull the string. If you look on the back of Dr. Evil, there's a string that you pull on that one. And then, of course, on this little shelf here, you have toys from Men in Black. You have Green Hornet toys. You have collectibles from Despicable Me. And, of course, the Suicide Squad. There's 3 of these. These are pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
They're all back
What about
there.
Over here now? What are all these guys?
When you look at this, it's better to start over here. These posters here, by date, stop in 2020. Then you got to jump across the room over there to go into like 2021. But we have these movie posters go back to 2010 on this row, and then up to 2012. And then,
Why don't you flip through some right here?
you want to flip through here?
Yeah.
Well, Astro Zombies. Of course, this is a movie by Ted Michaels. Unbelievable artwork on that. I Saw the Devil. Never seen this movie, folks. You have to watch this because I Saw the Devil is way out there. Hey, there's the Big Lebowski. I'm not Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
Yes.
That's what you call me. And then we have Ravenous, which is a modern-day Western carnivorous movie, cannibal movie. Leon the Professional, Schindler's List, and Training Day. What a group of movie posters.
How many would you say you have over here?
Well, I would say that in each stack we probably have about 200. So we have 400 movie posters here on the one side. So there's probably about 800 movie posters here, if you count front and back. Because I would say there's probably 400 posters, but they're front back. Like if you see this one, this is where it usually stops by date. And then we're here at about 2021, the year 2021. And so from this part of the room, we jump over here to this part of the room. And this is where you pick up 2021, 2022, 2023, and these are all dates.
And what's behind all of these ones?
Well, now these are one sheet movie posters, but then you pull these back, and these are really, really cool British quads. Eden Lake, Hereditary. Hereditary is a great movie poster. Ty West's X. First Cow. These are some A24 Men. Bone Tomahawk. Mars Attacks. If we just slowly pan, this wall over here, Chase, is the Jurassic Park wall. And these are all the Jurassic Park toys that I got. Didn't get a lot of the originals, just a few originals from the movie Jurassic Park, but we did get and managed to get quite a few of The Lost World, which I think is probably the best of all the movies. The Lost World has most practical effects, has great toy line. A lot of these toys talk, make sounds, and then you have right in here, this group right here are the character figures. Then you jump over to this side and you have some more Lost World, and then this row here is Jurassic Park 3, which is featured mostly these flying reptiles like this one right here. That's on the movie poster. We have some Spawn toys,
which you have a whole bunch up here.
A bunch, and we have some up in the rafters. Let me get my little flashlight out, Chase. We're going to do a little flashlighting. So we have some Spawn toys here in the rafters. We'll pan across. Very glary by this light. And then we pick up some Dark Ages. These action figures are unbelievable, if you ask me, Chase. I think they're just the sculpting on most of these are fantastic. Here we got Spawn mangas, and then we jump into some die-cast toys that are in this part of the theater. Over above this door, Chase, we have some Gremlin characters, which are very cool. And just to the left, you'll see some more Gremlin stuff. And then we jump right into Xena. These are the 12-inch action figures from Xena, the warrior princess. And then Matrix. Look at these Matrix toys, Chase. Of course, these were featured in a full-blown episode of Matrix. And then Mars Attacks, a little bit of Mars Attacks sprinkled in up top. And then one that we're going to do a pretty good in-depth video of is Starship Troopers. We do have some really cool Starship Trooper toys. Puppet Master. More Matrix. And then we have House of the Dead. Silent Screamers. More Xena. And then we have... What is that one called? That's the
Now Playing.
Now Playing, very cool. Dip down a little bit, more Now Playing. And then you have Kill Bill. Look at these are Kill Bill. These are, of course, featured in the Kill Bill episode. But these are all action figures. There's a bunch of them there. And then you jump moving back across. These toys go down pretty deep, pretty quick, as far as how many we have here, but it's basically the whole wall. I like to call this one of the living walls we have down here. It's an alive wall. You know, basically you can spend some time looking at all this stuff if you're into these action figures. And then as we pan over this way, we have more collection. We have Pirates of the Caribbean up here with head knockers, and there's couple 18-inch ones of Captain Jack Sparrow and Cannibal Jack Sparrow. And then we have the whole line of Series 1 Pirate of the Caribbean, and then we have them go down almost all the way behind these weights. This is our little gym area. And then we bounce over to Aliens. And Aliens Part 1, 2, 3. And these are very, very cool toys. These are Aliens original carded figures here. And then we have Aliens versus Marines. And very, very cool stuff. Here are some of the cool different machines that you have. And then we have down here Terminator Salvation and more Aliens. And then down at the bottom we have Planet of the Apes, the 1990s version. Very, very cool. And down at the bottom we have Speed Racer, and those are really, really cool race cars. Very heavy, nice die cast. And we have a Ecto 1, and then a few more sprinkled here from Planet of the Apes and Saturday Night Live, which are pretty darn cool. And then we jump up to see, you can see more in the rafters, Chase, as I pan across here, but you have James Bond. These are all James Bond cars, which are really cool. Very collectible. And then on this wall, more Aliens. We have some Prometheus. We have some Planet Terror and Machete. Machete right there, Chase. Some Hostile, a Hostile toy. Twilight. Very, very cool. Here's a couple insert movie posters from Thunderbirds, Argo, and Dracula, Prince of Darkness, the two original insert movie posters. And if we bounce over this wall up top, you've got all kinds of real cool things that we've recently taken out of the box we could show you, but we have some Alien. There's a face hugger jumping out at you, and there's a Xenomorph, and there's a Predator. And then we're zooming in on some cult classics. Cult classics are so cool. These are figures from some of the different movies that featured really, really iconic figures throughout the movie. So they made actually sculpts of them. So made these horror aspects very, very identifiable. All these are very identifiable characters. We have the tall man from what was that movie? Phantasm. And then you have Bohotep. Is it Bohotep?
Bubba Hotep.
Baba Hotep. And there's Leatherface, Hannibal Lecter, Jigsaw. Some great action figures right here. And then we have, of course, the movie screen, which you can watch movies here. Just we're looking a little bit at the movie Dr. No, which is a very cool movie. And this looks like...
What about down here?
Half-sheet movie posters. One from Circus of Horror. And there's The Hunger. The Giant Behemoth. Giant Behemoth, a great half-sheet. Muscle Beach Party. This is a Frankie Avalon, Annette Funicello, Wow.
Music by Lex Baxter.
Yes, Lex Baxter. And then we have, this is a very campy Trauma movie, I believe. No, it's actually Riot Pictures, excuse me, Trauma. But this is definitely The Killer Nerd. Alligator People. Gorgo. What a fantastic monster movie from the 60s. And here is Rocky. Dun, 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 dun. Asylum. Look at this creepy movie poster. Now here we are back up in the rafters. We have some Star Wars cars. Actual really cool stuff here as you go across all different cars. Yeah, these are all cars. This is a beautiful picture that Chase got one year. Right here, Chase. James Bond. Isn't that cool? And then we have some more James Bond cars that are up here in the rafters. And then we jump out here. We got some Spider-Man vehicles. You got some robots vehicles. Tickets, please. I'm CJT, and we're in the second half of this unbelievable basement theater tour. Right here, we're going to start with this wall, and this is, of course, the McFarlane Toys.
Movie Maniacs.
Movie Maniacs, that's right, Chase. First top shelf, you have the 18-inch line. You have some headliners. Aren't they beautiful? What sculpts they are. And they're basically going on about 25 years old, 30 years old. Scrolling across, you have Series 1, then you have Series 2. We have some Terminator splashed in here. And look at that. So it is Basil Goo-Goose. Basil Go-Go's, Goo-Goose, I don't know how to pronounce it, but then what a beautiful lithograph that is. And then you have all the rest of the series line going all the way down to Series 8, I believe. And then on the bottom shelf you have some Bride of Chucky. And then you have some more headliners. And of course you have the empty boxes of the Universal Horrors. They're great bobbleheads. And some, of course, some Alien Predator. And this is, of course, the velvet rope we got from a dear friend during Christmas. We're going to take down the velvet rope and go in to the Down Under. Come on in. And here we are. Check it out. Starting on this wall over here. This is the Star Wars room with a splash of a few other things that just kind of overflowed. But if you look at this wall right over here, Chase, I know we probably need a little more light on this subject, but these are all the late 1990s line of Star Wars collector series, and they go all the way down to the floor, and they're very cool. Now behind this is a very cool apparatus, something called a karaoke. Yeah, so we wheel that out in the other room and people can check it out. We have some light bulbs. I don't know how they're still there, but a little maintenance needed to be done here. There was an ear. Oh my gosh, Chase, there's an ear down on shelf number 2. And here's a little spillover from the menu tour now over here, and milk bottles. Now if you just check out that milk bottle right there, Chase, I'm focusing on it with a light, the Edgewood Dairy. And that was part of the family. Very cool. A few more milk
What are
bottles.
these here? What are these here?
Well, those are milk bottles, and these are menus. And then this is a milk bottle carrier here for the quart bottles, and these are for the gallon bottles right here. And then you have 2 authentic one-sheet movie posters from Star Wars. This is the first Star Wars, and number 2, The Empire Strikes Back. And if we go pan very slowly.
Wait, what's with the Kong here?
Oh, well, that's Kong.
You can't talk. You can't miss Kong.
I was going to zip over to the other movie poster. But yeah, these are Kong toys. This is Kong, the 8th wonder of the world. And then you also have Kong figurine, which is a McFarlane Enterprise right back here. And then you have a Misfit. Yes, that's Jerry only. Very cool. More milk bottles. And that was my call letters back in the day when I was doing different things. And here's awesome Star Wars toys. We have a mask, and then we have some fighters and different vehicles on this shelf. Very cool. Another mask over here. This is a talking Darth Vader. And then you have Darth Maul and the Sith Speeder, which was a little, what do they call them? Quick little romps. We have Clone Warrior. We have a Star Trooper.
What about these here?
And then these are all covered different menus. Polo Lounge from that's from somewhere that you were at.
Hollywood.
In Hollywood. And then we have AS. I'm not sure what that is. Doc's Oyster House. That's Atlantic City. The Smokehouse. Very, very cool place that we went out to lunch. And of course, what is it? The oldest restaurant in Hollywood. 105.
Musso and Frank's.
Wow. Musso and Frank's original menu. And we zip up here. We have some collection dolls from Star Wars. These are the multi-packs. And then we jump up again to some of the monsters, the Rancor, the Bantha. And then there's Han Solo in Carbonite. And we have the Assault Walker. And then this is the line, Return of the Jedi line. It goes all the way across. And there's some really, really cool action figures there. And then down to the bottom, these are the 6-inch line. And these are
a lot of droids.
Of the droids. And then there's a couple Ewoks, a Jawa. And there's
what about up here?
Up here, well, here's some more multi-packs. Ultimate Villain. You have the 100th figure, action figure, that's Luke Skywalker. Then you have the Sith Lords, Darth Vader and Darth Maul. And then you have the
Emperor
Guard.
Look at the interchangeable Darth head there.
Yes.
I didn't even notice that.
Interchangeable Darth head, and then along this type or this shelf, you have some really, really cool action figures. Mostly you have these, what they call bobbleheads. They go all the way across. And then you have the Revenge of the Sith action figures. They're 12-inch. And there is the 500 phrase Revenge of the Sith Star Wars Yoda doll. And we're focused on that. It's very cool. And then we have an autograph from Jeremy.
Stay cool from Boba.
Stay cool, Boba Fett. And then you have another Revenge of the Sith and some more bobbleheads. Now on this wall we have some what they call rock and roll figures, starting with Elvis on the top. We have some Jimi Hendrix here on the second wave. Then you have Janis Joplin and Rob Zombie. Going down to Chase's favorite, Jim Morrison. And next to Jim is Alice Cooper, Ozzy Osbourne, Jerry Garcia. And then the Beatles, Yellow Submarine Collection, Series 1 and Series 2. And then we have a few die-casts sprinkled in from Elvis and Guns N' Roses, got some Led Zeppelin. And there we have some Kiss toys. And there on the bottom we have the collection fleet, the Rebel Blockade Runner. Next to that is the AT-AT, that makes noise.
Also known as
the doggy. And next to that we have the Star Destroyer. Very, very cool models. And over here we have an authentic Return of the Jedi movie poster. And that was the third in this first series. We have some Power of the Force, excuse me. These are the 3-inch line. And then we have across this way we have the speeder bike with Scout. And we have the Captain Tarples and Cadu. And here's the...
So what is this section here? What is all this?
Well, this is my record collection, and basically the record collection stems from the time period when I was collecting vinyl. But also, I was a DJ for quite some time. A man who wears multiple hats. Let's just check this out. 69.
69.9 LGCJT.
Whoa! Whoa! Wow! Was that cool? Now, in the comments below, let me know what that was. That's all I'm going to play for you. But that's such a cool... Whoop! Well, there it is, the pepperoni platter. It's spinning. Look at it spin, Chase. Now over here is a little work area. I do some renderings over here. And these are my most played 12 inches over on this wall. And then, of course, we have some different things that I've won along the way. Here's some letters. And there's license plate. It is WCJT. It is a reality. And then up top we have all episode 1, starting with Chancellor Valorum and the croissant. The croissant? Is that croissant? Coruscant Guard.
The Croissant Guard.
And we just move across. These are very, very cool. This one talks. It's electronic. You have Mace Windu, which is, what was his name? What was this guy's name?
That's Samuel.
Samuel. I can never remember his name. But he's a great actor. Boss Nass. You have the battle droid. Look at the droids. And there it is. Mace Windu again. We have 2 different types here. Qui-Gon Jinn, Darth Maul, Jar Jar Binks, Darth Maul again. I think that's the electronic. And then you have, what is that one?
Luke Skywalker.
Oh, no, it's Watto.
Oh, Watto.
Watto. And there's Luke Skywalker. No, that's Qui-Gon Jinn. And then going across, you have Luke Skywalker on the Tauntaun. And then, no, that's not Luke Skywalker. That's Han Solo. No, it is Luke.
No, that's
Skywalker.
Luke.
Luke Skywalker on the Tauntaun. You have Luke Skywalker on the Wampa. You have Luke Skywalker and Han Solo. Luke.
What can you tell us about the records?
Well, the records, this aisle here are all in beats. These 3 lanes. And basically, these are all beats per minute. So basically, all you have to do is take off one, put it on the one platter, take off another, put it on the other platter, and you could segue pretty much seamlessly. Who is this guy, Chase? That's a young Chase. That's who that is. And then check this out. I framed this one up, Chase.
I actually really love this.
Is that good? You want to take that with you?
I may have to.
And there's Arnold Palmer and Harry. And there's your host, CJ, without his goatee and beard. This is a grandmom's house. Grandmom's house over the years. 1890s. These are some scrapbooks we still have to go through. Very cool stuff. This is some of the stuff that made me famous in high school. There's book portfolio. We have some nice, really, really cool cassettes here that I mixed that are very cool. These are some, these are autographs and what they call, these are really cool, Chase. I don't know if you ever showed any of these yet, but like here, for instance, these are movie postcards. And these are very endearing little things that you can collect. Oh, you're getting over there, okay. So there you go, there's Bitch Slap. Bitch Slap, very cool. Here's a coming soon movie poster thing for Thieves Theater that I did, coming soon. War of the Colossal Beast. Here's the Bitch Slappers. Then you got Grindhouse. Look at these, Chase, aren't these great?
Wow.
Planet Terror. You've got Planet Terror, and then you got Death Proof. And they're all really cool little movie postcards that I've collected over the years. Here's some scene cards that are miniaturized. And there's Reservoir Dogs. Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction's cool. Sin City. We got some Sin City ones. Very, very cool. Jackie Brown. So these are mostly related to Quentin Tarantino movies. And here's Saw. Isn't that cool, Chase? Did you know that you could even collect these things? Some of these are Japanese. Saw, very, very cool. But we have some space to collect more of these if you want to collect them, Chase. See that? Stuff them right in there. So these are the movie postcards, and then over here we have some autographs. We have some newspaper ads. You tell me what you want to pull out, Chase. I'll show it.
Why don't you pull out... what is this? Picture Publisher Collages.
Oh,
what is
these
that?
are very cool. These are all collages that I did when I had I still have the Picture Publisher postcard. But there's Chase, Son of the Creature. All right, so basically what you have here are movie ads when they first came out in the theater, and these are mostly from the Asbury Park Press. But you could just these are all the starts today. Basically ads that they ran in the newspaper, and each week they would come out. I I would cut them out, and they all have starts today. So these are going back to when these particular movies came out in the theater. And they're just another cool thing. That's a thing of the past, pretty much. I know we're looking at this pretty quickly, but there's some really cool stuff in here, Chase. These are going all back to the 90s, I think. The Green Mile, Magnolia, what a great movie Magnolia was. On Any Given Sunday. And let's just skip forward to a few of these. We'll move it up.
Ooh, that one's cool.
Oh yes, Fear and Loathing. And that's the starts today. These are all mostly when I collected these. And then there's some bigger ones in here too. You know, these are like almost a whole half-page ad for this movie. The Water Boy, that's Adam Sandler. The Wizard of Oz, that was a re-release, I believe.
It's so cool.
I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. So that's what these are, Chase, and I know most people would say, well, that was a waste of time, but here's how I looked at this. If there's going to be one thing that I could get out of these newspapers, except reading it every week, it would be saving these little bits of nostalgia right here at these theater. Ooh, am I bleeding from my nose? This is a little stage that we had built just so that the DJ booth was a little higher than the dance floor. But check it out. In all of its glory, it is the Star Wars room. A lot of people come down, their jaws drop. Yeah, it's a long time of collecting this stuff. And don't be surprised that someday these rafters might be filled, Chase. You never know. You never know. I'm CJ Thee, and I'm thanking you for joining us on this little tour of the second half of the theater. I'm CJ Thee. I love you all. Signing out.